Hello and welcome. This is Iron Port. Star Assurance, UT Logistics, the Royal Bank and Ghana Community Network Services are the proud sponsors of this program. Now folks, this week our focus is on a number of containers that are sitting in the port of the Republic of Ghana that have not been claimed by those who have spent money to import them. The customs is not happy about this situation. Also, the Port Authority is not happy at all about this situation. Now, some of these items have been abandoned for varying reasons. One include financial issues. They are not able to pay for the duties that come along with these things. Some of them also are not using the right agents, plus many more. Take a listen. Conducting Iron Port ran the state warehouse in the port. It was revealed that several items have been left at the mercy of heat in this large but enclosed warehouse. Most of the items have been abandoned, gathering dust, and in some cases ruining.
The state warehouse in customs parlance, we say is a prison for goods. So it means that any item, any consignment which has infringed on the laws of customs or the state will have to be sent to the state warehouse.
At the state warehouse, one can find all manner of items that have been either seized, abandoned, or classified under what is called in port terms as uncleared cargo list of items, UCLs.
We have a lot of reasons why we have most of these things not cleared from the port. One could be poor communication or wrong addresses. If you are not able to get the correct contact of the consignee, the shipping line might be contacting the wrong person or may not even get a chance to talk to the right person and then inform him that his consignment has arrived in the port.
Some of these unclaimed items include canned foods, TV sets, used mattresses and fridges, hospital beds and supplies, children's seats, paints, floor tiles, sofa chairs, bicycles, motorbikes, tires, and even games.
Most people do not know exactly what must go into the clearance of a particular consignment. So they import the goods into the country only to realize that these are banned goods, or maybe these are goods which will require some form of documentation, some form of certification.
According to customs, these items end up in the warehouse as a result of varying reasons. Most of the canned foods and these hand sanitizers, as well as medical supplies, were seized by customs because they arrived in Ghana expired, hence unwholesome for the market. Some, like these educational materials, including books, were meant for charity, but did not follow due processes and subsequently abandoned.
You think that, oh, these are charitable items, these are duty-free items. So you import them into the country before you even ask of how you can clear it. If you don't take care, they will come to the port and they will get stuck.
Others also could not make the right duties and payments on the goods, hence abandoned them.
The major factor is financial problems. You import and you are not able to establish how much you are going to spend in the clearing of these goods. Definitely, you have no option than to leave the goods.
But the situation is not all that gloomy for owners of these seized items. According to customs, 30 days after your items are seized for any reason, hence sent to the state warehouse, you can still come to customs with a legitimate reason and claim your items.
You can only have a restoration of it when you apply to the commissioner and you have the necessary documents or permits which should be able to allow you to have them.
Customs say the reason they auction these items is that there are no spaces to keep all these items in cars for owners who have abandoned them sometimes for 2 years and more, just because they have no money to pay the right duties on the goods.
A lot of goods are here, there are no owners. Those ones that we can even identify the owners, you call, I'll come tomorrow next, and they will never come.
Customs and the Port Authority are therefore pleading with the general public to make sure they inquire about every item they intend to import, know the right monies to be paid on them, the requisite documentations and processes to follow, and the right agent or freight forwarder before importing any item in order to avoid inconveniences in clearing goods from the port. Well, as you may have seen in that particular piece, a number of items have been left at the state bonded warehouse. That includes theater beds. And recently, during the doctor strike action, we had a number of hospitals crying for theater beds, hospital equipment here and there. And I can confirm to you that many of those items are sitting at the state bonded warehouse without anybody coming for them, including the Ministry of Health. They have abandoned a number of items within the state-bonded warehouse without claiming them. Why is this? The customs, again, is not happy. Port Authority is not happy about that. Let's now go and listen to the version of the Port Authority, because they also have a lot of containers sitting at a dedicated terminal waiting to be cleared.
Few months ago, there were a lot of public outcry about congestion in the port, both at the operational areas and the container depot areas. The Port Authority worked extra hard to dredge most of the berths for vessels that hitherto could not use certain berths. It also invested in cranes that are able to lift a lot more cargo from vessels 10 times more than it used to do just about under 3 years ago. These interventions have drastically reduced the amount of time vessels have to wait on the sea before discharging cargo and turning around. Periods spent by importers to assess cargo has also shortened drastically. But a disturbing trend is emerging as containers full of cargo continue to be abandoned by people who import them into the country due to a number of reasons, leading to congestion in the port.
Some importers import the cargo, they have not done their background checks very well as pertaining to duties and other things, and they come in only to realize that this is how much they should pay, and then eventually they have to go back, look for money to come and pay the duties, and then they delay, and it's over 21 days, and then it's gone on UCL.
So they bring the cargo into the country and realize that they don't have sufficient funds to clear them. If you don't pay the duty, you will not be allowed to clear the cargo outside the port. So eventually they end up abandoning the cargo, and the cargo ends up being here.
Currently, a number of frozen and dry items have been abandoned in containers for several months and years by importers without clearing them.
When you're going to import frozen cargo in refrigerated containers, there are processes you have to go through first before you can even take the decision to import. First of all, you have to go for a permit from the Ministry of Agriculture. Now, when you bring the cargo without that permit, you will definitely be frustrated more than anything, because you now know how to go to the ministry to seek for the permit. That is why some of our colleagues have to leave their containers, abandon the containers in the port after spending a lot of money to pay for the cargo, and spending a lot of money to put it in a refrigerated container, and then transferring it to Ghana, only to be told that you cannot clear your cargo.
The Port Authority could be using this space for something more profitable to the country. But here we are. Some of these containers here have been here for about 2 years, 3 years.
Here are the River Container Yard, which house all refrigerated containers with frozen items. Some cargoes have been abandoned for about 3 years.
We have about 33 containers, 33 40-footer containers of such uncleared products.
Anytime we have our river containers that should be plugged to electricity, they are left in our terminal in the port, and the electricity bills that are accumulated on it are paid by the port.
Similarly, at the Atlas terminal, where customs keep all uncleared cargo, some items have remained here for several years.
So all these containers located here all over the place are all unclaimed cargoes that people have imported into the country.
Anytime cargo, whether frozen or dry, stays in the port for more than 21 days without being cleared by the owner, it is released to customs, who then sends it to the state-bonded warehouse or the Atlas terminal for subsequent auctioning.
If it's containers and it is 21 days and the cargo has not been cleared, then it becomes an unclaimed cargo according to the customs regime.
As a port, what basically we're doing is managing space and then, logistics, etc. So if a consignee drops a box and then the box have to sit in the port beyond the stipulated period that they have to clear, then it means that, it's really compromising or trying to push us into an arena that will not help the growth of the port.
Port authorities say the situation is creating congestion, increasing the cost of operating in the port, and denying the state of revenue.
Our interest is in the space that is available to us in the port to turn around a lot of containers so we can make good revenue.
Apart from 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, 13 years, 14 years, 15 years, 16 years, 17 years, 18 years, 19 years, 20 years, 21 years, 22 years, 23 years, 24 years, 25 years, 26 years, 27 years, 28 years, 29 years, 30 years, 31 years, 32 years, 33 years, 34 years, 35 years, 36 years, 37 years, 38 years, 39 years, 40 years, 41 years, 42 years, 43 years, 44 years, 45 years, 46 years, 47 years, 48 years, 49 years, 50 years, 51 years, 52 years, 53 years, 54 years, 55 years, 56 years, 57 years, 58 years, 59 years, 60 years, 61 years, 62 cost to the Port Authority, cost to the organizations that imported those items. So I will say financial loss to the state. People must equally be diligent and must attach seriousness also to their responsibilities. Sometimes goods are imported by state agencies and the goods remain in the port for years.
A capacity of 3.5 kilowatts per 1x40 reefer unit. And we have about 33 reefer units uncleared. You can imagine the electricity consumption.
The power, ought to be on until it is cleared. So if it means the box will be here for 1 year, continuous power for that period of time.
The fact that we have even transferred the transportation and all that goes into the drain. If we look at the reefer containers, then that is making the authority worse off because we have to plug them to electricity from day one till it is auctioned, and all these electricity charges are being paid by the Port Authority.
Esther Jebidonko, the manager for the Golden Jubilee Terminal of the Port of Tema, revealed that from January to July this year, about 1,400 unclaimed containers have been declared uncleared by importers from GJT alone.
Not to talk about the numbers that are coming from Terminal 1 and the numbers that are coming from MPS Terminal. All have to be transferred here by the Port Authority, and it's putting a stress on our spaces in the port to work with our equipments to transfer them here and our equipments to be located here to work on them.
A number of reasons are often cited for this disturbing phenomenon.
Some will tell you they don't have money to pay for the huge demurrages that are accrued at the shipping line level, and for that matter they are not able to clear it within the specified 21 days.
People tend to think that once the goods they are bringing into the country are donations from various NGOs for orphanages and other groups like that, when they arrive here, they will not be made to pay duties. But that is a wrong notion.
The public and importers are particularly being urged to understand the proper ways of going about documentations before all their imported items arrive in the port.
We want to advise the importers to take their time to research on especially the duties that they have to pay on some of these cargoes before they come in.
Sometimes they go out, they find the items, they're very cheap, and they decide to bring them in. They bring them, they find it difficult to get market for those goods. So we advise that before you bring the goods, make sure you have ready market for them before you bring them.
The Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders has a website. Just Google, enter into their website. You will get a list of people who are accredited by customs to transact business as clearing and forwarding agents, as customs brokers, as consolidators. And if you go through them, you will save yourself a lot of difficulty.
Some are banned cargoes, and then because they don't have knowledge or the awareness is not there, they import them into the country only to be taken over by customs.
They have to get their market surveyed right, and aside that, they should always bear in mind that the port is doing business for them. So if you leave your product uncleared, then it means that you're punishing the potential customer or any customer that actually wanted to do business with the port.
You must also get a storage facility, you see, because once you clear the cargo from here, it must also go into a cold store to sustain the condition of the cargo.
So we actually entreat the customers to really give us the necessary, that positive input for us to serve them well.
Importers should therefore contact customs or the Port Authority even before their consignment arrive in the country to prevent their inability to clear them when they arrive.
By law, certain goods cannot be brought into the country. Before you make importation of any item, seek information from the appropriate quarters. Customs especially. If you even direct your inquiries to us as a Port Authority, we will contact the appropriate people and get you the information concerning the goods you are not supposed to bring and the goods you are supposed to bring.
Well, so we're going to profile some of those institutions, particularly public agencies that have abandoned containers full of items, some of them charity goods in the port without claiming them. I can confidently tell you that Ghana Water Company is one of them. Also, TOR is one of them. Electricity Company of Ghana has a lot of cables and items sitting in the port and they haven't cleared them. Again, Ministry of Health, they have a lot of items sitting in the port. They haven't cleared them. They should be telling us why this is so in subsequent editions of Iron Port. Also, in the meantime, there is a vessel that is sitting at the fishing harbor. There is no owner for that vessel. There is no agent claiming responsibility for that vessel.
The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is asking the owner or agent of a vessel called MV Lady Faith, which has been abandoned at the fishing harbour of the Port of Tema, to come and assume responsibility of the vessel or risk having the vessel sunk in the seas. According to the Port Authority, the vessel, MV Lady Faith, had been in the port for the past 5 years from 3rd January 2010 to date, and her agent and owner have failed to show up. The authority also reveals that the vessel has no required manning crew and is taking in water.
And as you can see now, it's full of these guys refer to them as junkies. They've turned it into their own home. And then the night, they try to harass the marketmen around. That's the main reason why we're trying to get this vessel out of the port. At the moment, you can see it's not seaworthy. It can never go to sea again.
The Port Authority believes the state of the vessel constitutes a substantial threat and danger to other ships around her and the entire fishing harbour.
It has occupied a space, vital space, that can be used for tying up other vessels coming to discharge fish. The longer it keeps here, the more it's limiting the capacity of the port to handle more fishing vessels.
If no agent or owner of the vessel shows up 7 days after this public announcement, the harbour master or the director of port could invoke the powers conferred on them under Section 25 Clause 1E of the GPHA Law 1986, PNDC Law 160, to remove the vessel MV Lady Faith from the fishing harbour. This is to prevent obstruction and high possibility of sinking, since it has started taking in water, and also to allow visibility in navigation around the port area.
If we should leave the vessel here like that, it's going to sink. And when it sinks, we cannot use this wharf again.
Several notices by GPHA to the former agents of the vessel, MV Lady Faith, have fallen on deaf ears since the agent has failed to show up. The vessel is also occupying space and depriving Ghana of revenue, as the space could have been occupied by other vessels for a fee.
Every vessel in port has to pay harbour rent daily. And just imagine the number of years this vessel has been here without paying it, whereby you cannot even locate the agent or the owner of the vessel.
Final notifications will be made in the national dailies for a period of 7 days for interested parties to respond or lose the vessel. This is without prejudice to recover the cost of sinking the vessel from any person who may claim interest in the vessel thereafter.
Well, I'm sure you are surprised that all these items are sitting in the port, not just occupying space, also costing the state a lot of revenue. I hope the relevant authorities are listening. Iron Port returns pretty shortly after the break.
I've got no need to worry. I've got no room for doubt. No matter what's coming at me, you'll always be the beautiful I sing about. There ain't no limitations to your amazing grace. Your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you.
There's a place in my heart that makes me feel that you're the one. It's a place I wanna be, 'cause satisfaction guaranteed. From strength to strength you help me grow, 'cause you're there for me. And teach me how to be independent, 'cause you
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
Bank you with transparency.
Royal Bank. Real banking, real difference.
UT Logistics have come to stay. When you approach a job like the way we approach it, each job is unique. Each client is unique. We provide the best service in the system. We have best staff. We are very fast. We are quick, and we save customers a lot of money.
Coming up next are news and activities happening within the port and maritime industry. South African investors are being urged to take advantage of the increasing investment opportunities in Ghana.
Ghana is definitely a destination for you to come and invest. We have attracted a lot of FDIs, foreign direct investment, into this country.
At a 2-day South Africa-Ghana Trade Investment Seminar held in Accra, the Deputy Minister of Trade and Industries in Ghana revealed that investment opportunities exist in the area of refineries and processing of jewelry. A South Africa Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry reiterated that his outfit will facilitate trade relations among businesses of the two nations.
The growth and development of our two countries lies in diversifying our economies so that we are not only exporters of raw material.
Star Assurance has hinted that its marine cargo product continue to lead the insurance market. According to the insurance giant, the marine cargo product introduced by Star Assurance offer great liberation to both importers and exporters.
Where, our prospective clients would import any form of consignment from outside this country, and they require a kind of insurance cover, such that when there is a short landing of their goods, or there's any damage to any part of the goods that they import, then Star Assurance will come in to pay this claim.
Another landmark policy that has also been introduced by Star Assurance is the Marine Hull policy, which offers total insurance security for clients with vessels that are in a hire purchase. Hence, in the case of any unforeseen disaster, one can count on Star Assurance as a solid partner.
So that when the ship sinks, when there's a wreckage somewhere, or maybe there's a damage to it sometime, then we come in to pay this claim.
Star Assurance is celebrating 30 years of creating smiles for most Ghanaians since 1985 and is inviting all in the marine sector to be part and enjoy a great office.
About there ain't no limitations to your amazing grace, your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you.
Banking with transparency, commitment to integrity. The Royal Bank, the Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank, real banking, real difference.
We've all heard stories about ports, about difficulties and challenges at the port. We think that to bring transparency to the port is very important for both the end consumers and even the people, some of the agents who work within the port. This program is very, very critical, and I think everybody who is involved in the port, in businesses that has impact on the port one way or the other, should make it a point to view it.
Next up are schedules of vessels sitting in the port. Those are the anchorage and those also expected for the coming week, as well as customs approved exchange rate. Well, folks, so next week we're going to bring you a profile of some of those individuals as well as companies and government agencies that have abandoned containers. There's a stack load of containers in the port with very good and useful content. For what reason they've abandoned them, you and I probably cannot tell, but that will come up next week. Also coming up next week, we're going to tell you, I've always been saying that the port of Takoradi is vibrant and working very, very hard. Also, the expansion work is going on very steadily and progressively there.
The expansion plan is not only catering for the oil and gas services, but still handling other commercial vessels through the port of Takoradi. So the port is not closed.
We're going to be hearing from folks in Takoradi in the coming edition of Iron Port. Well, that's it for this edition of Iron Port. We'll be back same time next week. Thanks to Robert Nyantechi behind the camera, also the entire crew. Solomon Anderson assisted the production. Joe Lavo, as usual, is always behind the editing bench. And Paul Asari Ansan is the executive producer. See you next week.